Hi everyone, welcome to the Connection Series, episode 18.
18. That's 2 weeks and 4 days worth of online material offered to you free of charge. I guess. Well, welcome back to the Connection Series. As you can see, Buddy's bored. It's down to just us. My son.
He also got a haircut.
Yeah, he did. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, he was definitely fluffy, matted everywhere. It was awful, and he had hard time playing outside, and a lot of stuff got in his fur. He was dirty, but once he got a haircut,
and he looked fat, and you didn't even know he had a neck.
I know. I didn't know he had a neck. I thought it was I don't know. But I learned about this, the flap-a-doo-dah. I like playing with this. But
We're gonna have to get him a little girdle, doggy girdle. That, don't lick me. Why don't we just show him that video we made?
Yeah.
Buddy got a haircut. You're gonna get a haircut today, buddy. Down. Let's go. Let's go. He's like, let me up. Thank you so much. Well, we're about to see Buddy. He got his hair cut. Oh, there he is right now. Hello. Oh my goodness. Whoa, you look like a poodle. Hey, come here. You look like a different dog.
He looks like a different dog. Do you see this? Me and my dad checked, and I did the paw thing. He's Buddy, but I got scared there for a second.
We literally, for 1 second, were concerned that it was a different dog. Like maybe Rita lost our dog. She didn't. But he looked so different. He looks like a poodle, we think.
Yeah.
Poodle with a little up top, little party on the top there.
He looks so different. When I came home yesterday, I was like, Buddy! And then I saw him on this brown couch chair, and I was like, who is that? And then he came over, I was like, Buddy? Literally, that's how I felt. It was so weird.
But he's Buddy. We know it.
Yeah.
Well, I had to drink coffee today. I've been trying not to drink coffee, but it's been kind of one of those days where I just couldn't get the old motor going. So I'm drinking coffee, and it's just the three of us. Matthew is gone because he thinks he needs to have a job to make money to pay bills because he wants to have a life, which I don't understand, but...
Wait, what? Hold on. You have a life?
No, Matthew.
Oh, no.
I don't have a life. Well, I am really excited about our interview tonight with Brother Jeremy Smith. Thank you, Brother Smith, for taking the time to be with us. And thanks to all of you. I would be so grateful if you would hit that share button about 14 times throughout this program.
Don't forget to subscribe on the Airwoods channel.
On
YouTube.
On YouTube. Matthew, we don't even need you. Look at her.
I learn quicker than I talk.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Brother Jeremy Smith. I am so honored to have a wonderful cousin and brother in ministry, Pastor Jeremy Smith, online with us tonight. Thank you, Brother Smith, for joining us. Pastor Smith is the pastor of Living Word Church in Aurora, Lawrenceburg area, and he has also been a member of the Tabernacle staff for many, many years, going back all the way to my childhood. He was my youth pastor, the children's director, board member, just a tremendous asset to the church, a blessing in so many ways. He and his entire family, we love and appreciate you all very, very much, and I also appreciate your time tonight.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Well, we have been online for 6 weeks now.
Yes.
What has this transition been like for you?
When it first started, our first Sunday where we couldn't have service with everybody, but we were allowed to have 10. Our first service we had here at Living Word, which is actually where I'm at right now. We're here cleaning a little bit, but anticipating getting back together with everyone soon. But that wasn't too bad. But when we found out we couldn't get together, and then that transition that we did, doing it from our living room, from our home, then it became a real thing. And it was very difficult, very, very hard once we got started doing that. And the emotion that you go through, I remember the first Saturday literally knowing that we weren't coming to Living Word to have service. And that Saturday I just sat in my office just kind of numb, and not knowing what this is going to look like and feel like, and how it's going to go, and if people were going to watch, if they were going to tune in. So it was a big, big transition for us.
So to do an online service requires equipment and all kinds of setup. Were you in a position to just go right into it, or was there a little catch up to do trying to gather up equipment and stuff?
Yeah, so we had just finished our nursery, and we had just purchased a really nice camera that you recommended, the kind that we get. And we bought it several months ago and set up our nursery to be able to have, mothers go in there and still be able to be a part of our service. And we just cabled it straight into that TV. So we had the camera. Fortunately, we had just purchased it. But we had nothing else, including terrible internet at our house. Where we live, our internet is just terrible. And so I rushed over that week to get the camera from Living Word, excited that we had the camera, and then found out what it took to run the camera through a computer and some things. And then I contacted you, and you gave me that really nice board that I could hook into and hook the computer into and hook the camera into and have really nice audio and video. And so I got all that hooked up and very excited about it, about what I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks in, or 2 weeks in, 2 Sundays into this social distancing, not having church, and hooked it all up, and my internet wasn't fast enough to use any of it. So that was rough, I can tell you.
Yeah.
So we had that camera. So I went to Plan B, and was able to do some other things, but not able to use our really nice camera live. But what we did is we've been recording it, and then we've been recording the service and then uploading that to YouTube and sending it to people that are not on Facebook Live. That was our challenge, was to get it out to everybody in the church. And the only way we could do it to some was to put it on YouTube and send it. That was an interesting thing in itself, trying to figure out how to upload an hour and 15-minute video to YouTube. and frustrated. I used the internet at Sandy Creek. Went up to the library where I've been every single Monday since we started videoing and recording to upload those to YouTube. And so what we essentially have been using is my iPhone 11 Pro on a stand, and going straight to Facebook Live using only our Verizon wireless service is actually better than our internet at home.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what we've been dealing with, and then the other thing is some people was able to use the Zoom app, and so we have my wife's computer logging them into a meeting on the Zoom app, and then we have the video camera, the really nice video camera, recording the service and uploading to YouTube later, and then we have my iPhone Pro. They're all three right next to each other while I'm preaching to my backyard through my windows.
What's it like preaching to the backyard?
I see a squirrel every now and then. Haven't seen any deer or turkey yet while I'm preaching, but preaching to the backyard through my windows in our living room is something that I never dreamed that I would ever be doing. Leading up to, of course, we didn't know we were going to be at Living Word. I'm thankful that the Lord has sent us to Aurora, Lawrenceburg area. But leading up to that, I remember a couple years before we came to Living Word that my wife was taking lessons at the time to just learn the newer songs with Anna Lee. And Anna Lee was teaching her, and she was practicing one night. And I walked by the piano and I looked at her. This is 2 or 3 years before we came to Living Word. And I said, if you're not careful, we might be pastoring somewhere one day. And she kind of laughed and I kind of laughed. And so we are literally having church in our living room, the very piano that I said that to her about 4 or 5 years ago. And that right there keeps me going, because I know they can see me. I can't see them, but I'm preaching right to that iPhone, right into the lens as best as I can, knowing that someone is listening. And it is very tough, and it was very tough at the very beginning. And I watched tutorials on how to be better in front of a camera. I've never done that before. And so it has been a life-changing thing for me. But it's exciting what the Lord is doing still, in spite of the circumstances that we are in.
Yeah. What kind of time commitment is involved with putting together your service for Sunday?
There's a lot of practicing that goes on at the house during the week. Laura preparing, of course, for the service and trying to pick out new songs. The thing was, before this, Samantha Knoll had been coming to Living Word twice a month to relieve Laura of having to do that every week. And so I see her practicing a lot every week, trying to pick out new songs, and then setting up all like the pulpit that I use, the stand for the computer, the 2 cameras that we're using, setting all that up, getting it right. We've had people complain that you can't hear the singing as good, so you move it a little closer. This week I literally had the cameras 4 feet from where I was standing preaching, and the girls were only about 6 or 7 feet from it. And it helped a lot yesterday, but there's a lot of setup. I mean, it takes I probably have every week at least a couple of hours extra, or maybe 3 hours extra normal every week, trying to make it better every week. So a lot of time involved outside of getting a sermon right. So yeah.
And it's a different dynamic preaching online. Not just that there's no people, but it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very weird. even yesterday when I finished my sermon, I start wondering, did they enjoy the service? Because I have no way of knowing. There's no amens. There's no clapping of hands, and it's very, very awkward. I'm thankful that I have, Laura and Addie and Cody and Chloe have been coming. My mother-in-law lives with us, so she's always there. And you might hear a little amen out of them every once in a while, but it is very challenging, to say the least. For sure. Yeah.
Well, I want to say to you and to all the pastors, not just the Tabernacle family and Living Word and Rock of Hope and Life Apostolic and El Tabernaculo, but beyond that, Indiana and across the world, pastors have stepped up. Pastors like you have stepped up and met this challenge, and I think continued to minister effectively to their congregations through really challenging times. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. And, in these times, it's important that we stay all connected. And I think we've been able to do that through our life groups on Wednesday nights and our Zoom apps. And it's all totally different. But we need to stay connected, because there's going to come a day here shortly where we'll all be back together. And I think that's going to be an incredible first Sunday for all of us to get back together. And looking forward to the growth that's going to come from this.
We've been calling it Comeback Sunday.
Yeah.
And I can't wait.
I can't either. We have people that were invited by people to our live feed. They were invited and they've been watching. And not only have they been watching every Sunday, but several of them has said, I can't wait to meet you all in person and come to your service. We have one parent that was invited by his sister to watch our Facebook Live, and his two children, they're 9 and 13 years old, and they are going to get baptized our first Sunday back. Wow. Also, we have another lady that has been watching that was invited by one of our members, and she contacted Pam Sloan that invited her, talked to her, and she is wanting to get baptized when we get back. So we also had one that was filled with the Holy Ghost 3 Sunday nights ago. She watched our service in the evening, and she's a member here at Living Word, but God filled her with the Holy Ghost in her living room while she watched. And so I think we're impacting more than what we think. Even though we can't see them, even though we haven't met them yet, I believe that we are impacting people's lives in this time, and getting outside the walls of our churches and going into their homes. And I'm excited about what the Lord is going to do with this revival. I'm very excited about it.
Amen. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a good evening.
All right. Love you. Thanks for having me. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, thanks again for being with us tonight. We love y'all. Hope that you'll stay connected. And you know what? Looking forward to our Comeback Sunday when we're all back, able to be back together again. I'm looking forward to that. But I also hope that when things return to normal, that we will work a little bit harder at staying connected, at communicating with each other. We have really had a wonderful time. Family and friends. I feel like we have communicated with friends maybe more than we ever have, and I don't ever want to stop. Well, we do have to do one thing before we go.
What?
Matthew and I are in a little weight competition, you know.
That's true.
So, he's gone, but he lost 0.6 of a pound, and I gained 0.2 of a pound. Yeah. You know why 1/5 had to go to the therapist, don't you?
No.
Because he was 0.2. Yeah. All right. Well, God bless y'all. Have a good night.
Want to try this? Okay. This is good. Just try it. You gotta hold it by the hand. Hold it.